please. Go ahead, behind you.
Thank you. You've said two can play at that game when talking about the Department of Justice. How would you use the DOJ if you're reelected?
Well, I think it's terrible what they've done. They've weaponized government to an extent that's nobody's ever seen before. It's done in third world countries, banana republics. But, I mean, like as an example, they said, oh, the documents case. Well, he was guilty. They basically said he's guilty, but he's incompetent. He's allowed to be president, but he's not allowed to go to court. It was a strange ruling. But I was exonerated from my case. That was a big case, as you know. Down in Florida, we had I don't know the judge, but a brilliant judge, totally brilliant judge. And I was exonerated and fully exonerated. And I can only say this, that, you know, when I stand here and I watch the questions being asked by people that are somewhat hostile, many people that are fair. I mean, you have a lot of different talents in this room. I was just thinking to myself, I really, all I want to see is fairness. Our country needs you so badly. The media, you're like the policemen and women of the world. You're so important. You keep politicians honest. You keep politicians from doing really bad things. You're so important. And it's so important that the media be fair and really improve, because I watch how unfair it is and how one-sided it is. And you need the media to really buck up in this country, because nobody's ever seen anything like it. And I can tell you, I don't want any favors. I just want fairness. I want like a level playing field. And if we can get the media back to a level playing field, that's going to do a lot for the good of our country, because we have to make a comeback. Our country is a failing nation. This is a failing nation. We're failing at the borders. We're failing at everything we're doing. You look at the numbers. We lost $2 trillion this year. $2 trillion. You know, people don't report that. Our country, we have a deficit of $2 trillion. It was never a deficit in the history of the world like that. And one of the reasons I'm going to bring Elon Musk in to negotiate a lot of that. He's very good at it, and he's a great guy, and he loves the country. He really loves the country. It's not easy for him to do an endorsement. You know, he endorsed me. But, Brian, I would say it's not easy for him to do an endorsement, right? He's got a lot of different factions, a lot of different sides. But he wants to save the country. And, you know, I tell you the airplane story. I could tell you 20 other stories just like it. We have to be a lot different. We have to run a lot different. We are a failing nation, but we're not going to be a failing nation for long, I predict. We're going to have I hope we're going to have a great victory, a big victory, and then we're going to straighten out our country. We're going to seal up our borders, and we're going to let a lot of people into our country, but they're going to come in legally. We had Remain in Mexico, and for some reason he voided that immediately, and she did. I guess she did, because she was in charge of the border. And I hate to see that when somebody was so bad at the border and then tries to pretend like she wasn't even involved. This was the worst border in the history of the world, not here, the history of the world. There's never been a border like that. I always say third world countries would have used sticks and stones to keep people out if that happened to them. There's never been anything like it. And the press doesn't want to report about it. And they've got to report about it. It's a big story. To me, it's the biggest story. When you allow 13,000 murderers into our country, and they're free to kill, they're free to kill. These are people that are rough, tough, horrible people. It's not going to be a positive thing. When you allow thousands of terrorists from very tough countries into our country, they're here. We don't even know who they are. We know they're terrorists, and we know something about some of them, but generally we don't. But we know there are thousands of terrorists let into our country. Drug dealers are in our country at levels we've never seen before. We're really, you know, we're a very sick country, but we're going to figure it out and we're going to get it fixed.